Good evening. Thanks for watching my program. It's a program that is meant to enlighten us and to encourage some of us that are going through what I've already gone through. It's just to speak to people about my journey in England in the last 30 years. I came to England in 1986 with a fake identity. We all call it in Africa a green pasture to improve our lives. So I came here in 1986, as I said earlier on, and I worked illegally I was also schooling. And after a couple of years, I did my papers and I got to stay with the fake identity. I wanted to change, to use my real name, but unfortunately, the advice I got then is they need to know how you got into this country. So if you do not have, a record of you entering England, there is no way they can process it. So that was how I continued with the fake name, and I got my my stay, and after a while I naturalized and I got my British passport. In that process, within that period, I had my children also, 3 of my children in England, in North Middlesex. And I was living this lifestyle, double lifestyle, because I had my children, when I had them in England, I had to use my real name because that was I was thinking, I never know what will become of them, that I have to use my real name. So I used my real name in having them. So after many years, I think my mom, when I had my last child, my mom came to England and she said, "Oh, with these 3 children, how are you going to survive? How are you going to work? How are you going to, improve your life generally? That why don't I bring my youngest to Nigeria?" Which I decided to do. And also I had other motives because my relationship was not going well. And I just wanted, an opportunity to go back home to see what I can do back home. So I took my daughter back home. And because in England, because of the 2 identity I had, I could not use my fake identity to give my children the stay they needed to have. So the 2 oldest ones stayed in England for 10 years before they were given their British passport. And my daughter went home very early, so she couldn't get her British passport. But what I did was to get her a visa to come in and out. And it got to a period that when she wanted to come back here, so we said she should. In that process, when she was coming in, she had problems with immigration, and because of that, she was asked to go back. I couldn't come out as a mom because I didn't have any documents, that I had to stay. And with my other documents, I did go, to the immigration office, but unfortunately they couldn't help because they said I'm not the mom, because I couldn't use that name to say she's my daughter. So she was asked to go back, and that was my turnaround, because I could see the lies that I've lived, how much is now coming back, to judge me. So I was not happy at all, because she was not supposed, she was put in detention and later on released to spend some time with us, because she came in for someone's 70th birthday at that period, at that time, because someone was celebrating their 70th birthday and she was allowed to come in because of that. And after the holiday, she had to go back. And that was my turnaround, as I said earlier on. I felt I've really pushed my luck in life. I've really denied my children the real living because of what I was going to gain out of it. So when she went back home, I started looking at how to do things. Even I had some people, if they could help, unfortunately they turned me down. And I thank God they did, because if not, it would have just been a repetition of history, continuing himself in sin again. So I was disappointed at that time. I was looking for ways to do it. I couldn't. So it got to a stage that I had to say to myself, I was tired. I was tired. That was the day I was crying in my high road, that, okay, I'm tired of even living these lives anymore. If I have to lose everything, I'd rather lose it than to cause someone else pain. That the pain that I've caused my daughter is more than enough for her to go through. You know, if only the role could be reversed, I would have preferred it at that particular time. So I was not happy. I needed to do something to turn around. But knowing that if I do go through the process that I'll have to go, it has to be a truth one. A truth one that a lot of things will leak out, because they will know that I have two identities. I looked at options around. I decided no. Since I've been a born again then, a follower of Jesus Christ, I need to find out if truly the truth sets someone free. So, because the word of God says, when you know the truth sets you free. So I was like, okay, let's see what that means. I'd rather lose my stay than for my daughter to be feeling it. I have my stay, I could move around, she couldn't move around. So why should she pay the price for me? They say, you know, it's my mistake. I need to carry my, you know, whatever I've done, I need to be, you know, I need to face the consequence. So that was how the process began, that I had to go to, I think initially I applied for a renewal of my passport, because it was getting to the renewal time. And when I applied for the renewal, it took more than it should, and I was a bit worried. And I had this dream that, in that dream, I saw this gentleman that came into, you know, knocked on my door and was asking of my husband, and I said it's not him. I didn't want to open the door, I just answered him from inside. And the gentleman said I should open the door, and the gentleman said to me, when I opened the door, the gentleman just showed me. That was when the gentleman showed me my picture in a camera, like I'm naked in that picture, as if, what are you hiding? We know you already, so why are you hiding? So, because my renewal took a while, after some time, I got my passport back. I went back home. I came back with the fake name again. So I had to, from then, I knew that I could not lie again through that dream. That means whatever I'm hiding, I've already been found out, that I have to come out now. You know, so the dream really helped me, you know, to make the bold step. So that was how I had asked for change of name. When I did change of name, they started asking me questions. So when they were asking me, they now said to me, I replied them, and they now said to me I should come to the passport office in Victoria. I knew I could be arrested in that meeting. There was so much going on in my mind that I felt like, gosh, I've been caught now. I have to pay the price of my sin. But I thank God for one thing, that my mind was set for whatsoever the outcome is. At least I'm free, that they know what is going on now. So that was how I went to Victoria on that day. When I got to Victoria, it took a while. Then two men came and called my name, and I went into their cubicle. And when I got there, I sat down. They said, sit down. I sat down. They started asking me this, that. I said, yes, this is me, this is me, this is me. And there was one question that they said, are you this person? And that means that was my real name, that am I that person? Who is this person? She lives in the same house that you live. And I said, that's also me. They said, wow, why are you bearing two names? I said, this is the situation. So they were like trying to say some other things. And I said to the gentleman that was interviewing me that day, that whatsoever I've done at this moment, I'm sorry. But I'll take blame for those ones that I've done. But any other one that I didn't do, I won't take blame for it. That I won't accept the blame. But what you're asking me here, I did, this is my name, this is this is that. I think the moment I was able, that the Lord gave me the grace to be able to say I did that, that was, whatsoever plan they had prior to that interview was just none at that moment, because I've already confessed that this is me, this is me, this is me. And that was how they now said to me that, the other guy said, okay, why do you want, are you sure that is, it's a long story, that am I sure that the fact, the name I want to bear now is my real name. I felt insulted, but then again I looked at myself, a sinner has no right at all. So whatsoever they dish, I have to take it, because it's my fault, and I take total responsibility of my fault. So they now said to me that they have to transfer it back to Liverpool, that Liverpool will get back to me. And Liverpool wrote me, and I said to the lady that was dealing with it at that particular time that I'm sorry for being deceitful, for not saying the truth from the beginning since I came to England. It was when you are so desperate that you think you can use your brain to achieve success, to achieve moving forward in life. At the end of the day, because you've not done it in a truthful manner, you are bound to fail. That I'm sorry to have done that. The lady said, why did I use deceitful in my letter? I said, I'm deceitful because I knew the truth, but because of what I'm going to gain out of it, I decided to lie. And she's, the lady was like surprised, and I said, that's just the fact that everything I've said, everything I've done, I'm sorry. And I had in that journey some of my friends saying, oh Mary, why don't you get a lawyer? Why don't you get this? But I remember something in my mind, that since I'm a follower of Christ, and we've been told that he's the Prince of Peace, and he's also the advocate and the comforter, I wanted to try, to find out if really that name's work. And I said, if I take a lawyer and I have an advocate, and I believe in my journey with Christ at that moment, I believe that God owns the heart of all men. And at that particular time, I was ready to be transparent enough. And I said to myself, I have nothing to protect, I have nothing to defend, I have nothing to prove, neither do I have anything to hide anymore. Whatever comes out of that, I'm ready to face it. So that was what gave me the boldness that, okay, since I'm not hiding, and the truth, let's be serious, the truth just sets a man free, because the truth will defend you, it will protect you, it will prove you, no matter how faulty you are, because God knows the beginning and the end of everything. So he's there to defend us in that issue. And that was the boldness I was having, that I want to find out if truly I'm serving a living God, because he said to me that all things will work together for good, for his own glory, and also us. So it was just a period that I needed to really, a journey that I needed to find out in my faith if who I was saying that I've surrendered myself to will be there to help me. And can I be honest with you, it took me 2 years, 2 months to go through it, because I was investigated a lot, for a long time in Nigeria, other places. And my daughter was also, investigated. Mine took 2 years and 2 months. My daughter's son took 3 years. And I'll say something to whoever is going through immigration situation: never you lie. Depending on who you have surrendered your soul to will be the one that will guide you in that process. So the reason I'm doing this again is to assure us that the truth do set a man free, and there is no point, because we want a greener pasture, to put ourselves in bondage for so many years. I've had situations of people that have even died with fake identity, still using it, the same fake identity they use in coming to England that they died with. They couldn't change it. And that is why I'm doing this program, to help us, to let people that are going through it know that God is still a God of mercy, a God of goodness, a God that helps is with children. And he was there to help me. He was there to help my children. He was there to help Samuel. You know, she's able now, my last child is able now to get a passport also. I was given my passport back in 2014, November. She had her own passport 2016. I think 2016 around July or so. June or July, I think. And she's now in England, and I'm just saying this just to encourage those that are going through immigration, to encourage those that are going through, you know, their families. There's so many families around now that are going through immigration situation, that there is beauty in everything if it starts with truth. And if there's any praise in us, I think we should hold on to that beauty in God. If God is, they say, the earth is the Lord and His fullness thereof. So if the Creator of heaven and earth owns every land, there is nothing that belongs to any man. So there is no. I found out that for those 20-something years, I just sold my soul so cheap because I wanted to remain in England, and that really affected me. My soul was caged for so many, because my soul was not happy. I felt it, I fed it with lies and deceit, and that kept, it's like Pinocchio. Once you start lying, it starts increasing because you want to defend that lie. So that is why transparency is very important. It's very important to live a truthful life, to live a life, you know, that you can lay a good example. I found out that my daughter was getting older. I need to start a good life. I need to start a life that I can be able to say to them, I started wrong, but I'm now correcting things I did. And I can say to you, a lot of my friends did not believe that I'll get it. A lot of my friends thought, oh, she has started again. You know, I had few ones that was ready. They were helping me, but they were still like, oh, why are you doing this? You can do it other way. You can, what are you trying to prove out of it? But when a soul is caged and it wants to be saved, it will go to any length to save himself. And that is the strength of God in our lives. That when we take a bold steps, God will do the rest for us. So my brothers and sisters that are going through something similar like this, it could be other situations also, the truth definitely sets a man free. It does set a man free. Believe in the God you serve. Trust in His words is a narrow road that we go through with Christ when we've dedicated ourselves to Jehovah God through Christ. It is a narrow road, as He said in His words. But the narrow road is a sweet road that transforms a man in every areas of life. The narrow road is a road that beautifies someone. It's a road that speaks volume in a man's life, that brings out the best. So it's what's going through. It takes patience, it takes encouragement, but that's the beauty of the Holy Spirit, because He will always comfort you. When you get to one stage, He will comfort you. When you get to the next stage, He will comfort you. And the Holy Spirit is quite good that It will reveal every areas that is hidden, that things needs to be corrected. Then you can go back to God and say, this is what is happening here. How do I go about it? And I promise you, my dear brothers and sisters that are going through it, because I'm doing it to change lives. My word is all about transformation. My word is about seeing a better community. It's about seeing people living happily, joyfully, and peacefully. And that is why I'm doing this. It's not for publicity. It's not for anything else. It's just to bring the best out of all of us. We're all here to help one another. And I pray that the peace of the Most High, the love of the Most High, will abound in our life bountifully, and we'll be able to live according to His will on earth. Love you all. Peace unto you guys. And I'm so proud of you. No matter where you are right now, it can only get better. Just believe in God. Believe in yourself.